Hello, this is Pixie doing another video, and what have I learnt? So I think I could potentially have a biohack, and this is what you do. Well, I guess there's different things. Yeah, it's a biohack, so it's going to work quite well. Is you can do a load of exercise at night if you wanted to, and if you wanted to get yourself in a mode where you can go to sleep, just have a cold bath. Don't try to shock the system though. Do a slow, break yourself in slowly into the cold. So what you would do there is put your feet in some cold water for a while, and then look at potentially sitting maybe in some cold water. You could just put your feet in some cold water for a while. Don't know. What you do is you're cooling your blood and your core temperature and reducing your heart rate. Now, in theory, if you get cortisol, you get stress hormones, they can't be there if your body is adapting. Come off it. Fucking sleepy bastards. Where are you fucking going? I can't stand it. You know, somebody just like, yeah, I mean, you pretty much have seen that on there. They started coming out, and their speed was, I know they were slowing down, but it didn't appear to be braking. It looked like they could have been looking the other way, and then just driving slowly into my way. But some people are like that. I mean, even now, I'm watching them and swerving a bit, so they're knackered. Okay, fair enough. But be careful, for fuck's sake. I don't want to die going down here doing a video. It's crazy. Right, anyway, I had a little moan about that. So, I mean, in order to this, yeah, they are a bit wobbly. I might go in the back of me and find out. Leave me alone. I haven't done anything to you. Leave me alone. Psychopaths. Excellent. No, you have stopped. Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, in order to slow your heart rate down, certain chemical reactions must occur in the body for that to occur. I'd have to find out how does your body temperature affect your heart rate. I'd imagine it starts to alter the metabolism, but the muscles, so the body must be using a different way around it, because see, we have in our biotechnology in our own bodies is sometimes superior to some animals. Some animals have got it way above us, you know, like if you're like a bear and you can hibernate and things like that. But then again, we haven't really tested a human, how far a human can go. I mean, some humans that haven't been eaten for half a year, and that's simply because, oh my god, I tell you what, I've got to have a wash tonight. It feels like I've got bugs and crap in my hair. I saw a flipping fly or some gnat in my car, and it was hovering. I thought it was a mosquito. I thought, oh, I hate them little shits. And yeah, so basically we've got biological technology. I mean, originally I thought, well, you know, we couldn't be from Earth because there's no way we could survive outside. We need clothes. Now I realise that you actually got some unique technology in your body that allows your body to warm up. But the connection, I believe, is that we have a connection to the ocean or to the water. We're definitely probably ocean, because salty tears, salty sweat. I think there's probably more salt in our body, possibly, anyway. And there's also the fact we do sweat. And then with the recent research on stuff like thermogenesis, warming up, our bodies warm themselves up. I mean, possibly an animal underwater could do that as well. And we haven't got much hair on us because it would cause resistance. So maybe we are designed for colder water anyway. And there's the other bizarre thing is a child from birth can swim, and other animals and creatures can't. They're strong enough to pull themselves out of water if you throw them in water and things like that, but they're at a disadvantage. We don't appear to have a disadvantage in water. We do at a certain point because we've, like a reptilian or something, well, even they retain their skills, but we've actually crossed over. We're like a cross species or a hybrid. We've given up one of our abilities is shut down. Yeah, well, maybe that's really what it's about, is that we switch off the things we don't use. So, like for instance, I was watching this Iceman, and he was teaching students to hold their breath for 3 minutes. And that would be a useful skill I'd like. I don't think I can hold my breath for 3 minutes because I haven't had that adaptation. I haven't sort of... Wait. I haven't developed that kind of skill set. That's what it is. I mean, it's not that the skill set doesn't exist. I just haven't utilised it. But what happens though, if you challenge your body, you can go through... There's another area that's darker, is a breakthrough area. Now this might go into mental health. Like, for example, somebody has, say, schizophrenia. I mean, with the kind of right environment, I mean, sure, they're going to be different. They're not going to be like they were before, but they might be able to break through that and normalised. So there might be a point where they chemically go out completely out of whack and out of balance, and then they normalise. And it maybe they normalised because, say for instance, with fasting, they did a total cleanse of their body, their brain chemistry changed. They might have something else ability-wise though. They might actually have some abilities there, but they're oversensitive to them. Or what happens if you take someone autistic and you put them through a massive dry fast? I mean, I'm not saying you should, but with the changes, I mean, I know for example, that with people with autism, they might have a set diet because of certain allergies, and I'm probably on the Asperger's spectrum anyway, because I've got family that have got Asperger's and autism, and they're sort of near blood relatives, not sort of distant. But it'd be interesting to see what would happen. So you call it like the breakthrough part, or a transformation, where possibly you go through a barrier and then you go through some kind of change. So, I mean, for me, if I were looking at some breakthrough barrier, it would probably go into a colder environment, do something I haven't actually done before, or like I mentioned, holding my breath. I mean, I've never held my breath until I've passed out, and it's probably a bit dodgy if you do, but however, you know, there could be a point. I never challenged myself that hard. I probably would do it not underwater, obviously, because if I do get to the point where I start blacking out or something, then I would want to breathe afterwards and recover my oxygen. But it could be that I really go deep into myself, so it could be a type of meditation, so holding your breath and meditating on my breath and then meditating on my heart. And what you're doing is you're hacking yourself. Your deep subconscious is, you're digging in there, your focus into functions in your body that don't normally access. And you're projecting the answers. So you'll be listening to your heart rate will go up. Initially you get stressed out. But if there's a way to tap into that, you can say, turn the stress off and say, hang on, relax. You know, what we're doing is an endurance. We're not at a point of we're not in survival mode. I mean, it's the same that'll teach you better. Same for anxiety. Now, I did stuff with my hypnotherapy and stuff like that, and meditation. I was just exploring it, and the fact is, I realised that it's a driver. There's a driver before there is a kind of reaction. So the body's priming, and the same driver operates similar systems. So you know, like if you're excited or if you're afraid, they're actually probably very similar, apart from the neurological input, the data. So, you know, there's risk here. Yes, that excites me at some level. There's some, and I'm primed up to engage with risk, but I'm not afraid of it. I'm interested to know. You know, you basically start hacking your mind and tell yourself that. So it says on the number plate there. There's a sign there. And so if you read it, you'll see it. And there's ways to hack into your mind, basically. See, sometimes on number plates I get like my own initials. I start following them, and stuff like that. So yeah, there's ways to hack into your mind once you realise that there's layers. So it's a bit like a kind of gated system, in that there's yes or no, you know, a bit like how a circuit would work. So, you know, risk, environment, and then what you do, if you basically override that, you'll be saying, well, I've got the skills to do that, you know, I mean, something you know well, but put in a different environment, you might be nervous about it, and the nerves are there to prime you up to make you make good decisions. And the thing is about being nervous is that it could be something in a conscious level or in a more subconscious level, more deeper. So for me, well, yeah, I mean, it could be a situation whereby you may be kind of restless and edgy and stuff like that, but you're not thinking that you are. You're just thinking that you're getting on with the job, or you're doing whatever, and it's actually because you're nervous. You've got them kind of anxiety type hormones kicking in there, and it's not bad, or it's not bad or good. It's just you're in a bit of a red alert, and you don't notice it. And things like caffeine and stuff can sort of prematurely kick things in like that. A bit like I must have had a really, to be honest, had a bit of a crappy food intake. I went to have a kind of carvery breakfast, which would have been great if it was all worked out. But what happened was they didn't have half of the food cooked, like the sausages and bacon, and all the eggs. So I literally, and then the bacon come out. So I had like 3 bits of bacon. I had a lot of beans, mushrooms, and plum tomatoes. I didn't have the time to hang around. So what I did, your one side's clearer for you, so you can go straight down. You should be able to go straight down. There we go, it's gone on the other side of me. Yeah, don't forget what I'm talking about now. Yeah, fantastic. So there's always ways to hack into your mind. I'm going to try, it's a bit like meditation, so it's a bit like you're going into the sea. So at the top part you can see things visualised, but as you get further down it's going to get into the darkness and you're going to feel things. And that's what you want, just feel the pure feelings when you go into a meditation state. So your mind is black, you don't have to, I mean in a dark room it's brilliant. If you can't get yourself into meditation, just go into a room and fixate on something. There's a few different ways you can do it. You could have a candle and you could just like that, look at the candle, and when you can close your eyes, just close your eyes for a little bit, and then you see it, and you can see that image of what you're looking at in front of you in your mind. Then just close your eyes and focus on that image in your mind, and then just start letting yourself drift, like blacken out that image in your mind, and then you find yourself going somewhere deeper in yourself. And that's one of the ways. You could do something. You might want to just ask for protection though. You could do it in the mirror as well, look into the mirror, but because you might pull something through the mirror, so you might just want to be aware of that. So you might just meet yourself. You might actually see a mirror self have come out of the mirror, and it might be just like a reflection of your own consciousness, basically. It's like an avatar you've produced in front of yourself. So you might meet yourself through the mirror. Remember how Neo was looking at the mirror and then suddenly everything went all molten metal? That won't happen, even though that thought's in your head probably now. But that kind of, the reality was a bit fucked up. And it was only because he was scared that started being a bit of a problem. Before it wasn't a problem, so he sort of fear went into his head. And then that just got kind of warped it, and he couldn't let go of them feelings. Because his feelings were what kept him in the mortal plane. But where we go with your feelings is that it's kind of to deepen yourself, and you're looking for things in yourself that have just been left there. You know, you don't have to be digging up the past because you don't want any picture memories, just feelings. Like if you're aware that something happened, or aware that something made you feel that way, or you know, or whatever's actually in there. And then you want to go deeper. You want to be kind of like reaching into yourself. You know, like where are your organs? What, you know, where's your liver? What are your feelings? Deeper stuff like what are you? You know, are you more than biological? Do you have any special abilities you haven't really tapped into? And can you sense where they are in you? Can you sense them in your thoughts? You know, all sorts of things you can deepen. Or can you look into the future? You're going to try to look into the future and see something there. And you just want to pick out little pieces of the future. Just something pure, like I mentioned about the candle. The rest of the room doesn't matter. It's the fact that you can see the candle. So in the same way, if you were looking for something very particular in the future, you just want that one piece of detail. There are things in place like safeguards in the universe, because it depends on what happens as a result of your kind of using your abilities. You know, if you're using it just for material gains or to manipulate someone or something like that, then it doesn't really work in your favour. It just only backfire at some point. I mean, you might achieve something. I mean, once I had in the past that somebody asked me for the lottery numbers, and I gave out a load of numbers, and I pretty much would have won that person a massive chunk of cash. I don't know if I got all of them right. However, the numbers were never used because he asked me the question. His wife told him the numbers just before I told him, before I was going to mention them, and he did it. And then I thought, when I heard the thing, I thought, hang on, that's all the numbers I mentioned. I thought of in my head. He basically asked me to meditate and see what I see. And I thought of the things just come up in my brain, but his wife said something. He said, right, we'll go then. And no, they were wrong. So, but then again, I'm kind of glad in a way. I can see why, because he was a guy that probably given him £1 million or something wouldn't have really helped the universe. To be honest, he would have been peddling his own version of reality. And he didn't have any leeway. He didn't understand other people could have their own gifts. He just saw himself as a kind of messiah complex, is what he had. And the issue with that is that would he ever stop? Would he actually, once just take that money, push out his version of reality? Then he would alienate people, and then he would lose everything because his dream is a momentarily thing. He's not. It's just some sort of like hunger for power. He doesn't really want it. He just thinks he deserves it. And then he loses that interest because he wants more. You know, if I can have this, I can have that. And so it's like I say, it's like a greed, and there's this idea part of him of thinking, well, it doesn't matter because I'll always get what I want. I'll get more or get this and that. It doesn't always work out that way. So, you know, that's a kind of issue with somebody with a complex like that. And it's kind of looking at your own inner demons in that sense, where you want to go with yourself. So yeah, so I think tomorrow I'm just gonna have a meditation, and then if it's all darkness, great, it's not gonna be a problem. Just dig in there deeper. I think I might have a little look in the future. I want to know, where do I want to go in my future. I've got an idea where I'm going, but I might visualise that future, see that future. No, I know that it's just a construct of what I want to project into the future, rather than it has happened, but I want to accept it could be a reality as well. Just that I don't want to be in a position where you're vulnerable, because you see yourself, say for instance, you saw yourself in a kind of wealthy lifestyle and had the perfect partner and all these other things, and what happened is that you might get some of that, or you might be working towards that, but that isn't the image that's going to happen in that timeline. it hasn't merged with your current timeline, so eventually it'll get dissolved or absorbed in it. So for instance, you might meet somebody attractive, to talk to somebody attractive, but they might actually not want to become into a relationship, or that relationship might not last, or you may be really happy and wealthy for a really short period of time, and then something happens and changes everything. So you kind of achieved what you wanted in that image, that moment in time, but it's not a long-term achievable result. Anyway, this is Picture sign off, and speak to you soon. Bye.